A truth can be a scary thing. When you find one, you either want to shy away from it or to keep looking for more. For me, seeking truth has become a never-ending journey. Like any story, it had a starting point. In my grade 10 English class, our teacher introduced us to a truth about TV and magazine advertisements. We flipped through glossy pages and learned about the airbrushing of smile wrinkles and tummy bulges. The unattainable image of pretty, a false promise, would ensure that a 16-year-old girl would keep buying their products. I would not look at a 17 magazine the same again. With my eyes now wide open, I went to Acadia University and discovered a truth about bottled water. I helped to start a campus-wide campaign to raise awareness about its far-reaching effects in communities and the environment. At Acadia, it became evident to me that the greedy quest for expansion and wealth could not be sustained by our planet's resources for long. I wanted to learn how I could help to reestablish a balance between the humans and their environment and to protect our water sources for future generations. The starting point for my next truth in the journey would be the Indigenous Perspectives course at Dalhousie University. I knew that Aboriginal people have a unique perspective of our environment that could hold answers for balance, but also that they have been the subject of much injustice.
It was run down by a patrol boat once, this time forcing all 3 people on board to jump to safety.
Does not allow unauthorized fishing, and we will take enforcement action.
What's happening in Burn Church is why is the federal government harassing First Nations people?
I wanted to learn the truths about the lived experience of Mi'kmaq people in Nova Scotia and begin to understand their perspectives of the world. Here are 7 truths that I have identified through this course. Mi'kmaq people have occupied Mi'kmaqi, also known as Nova Scotia, for over 10,000 years and are the traditional and rightful occupants of this land. Mi'kmaq people have a traditional knowledge based on the connectivity of life and respect for all living and non-living beings on Earth. This view is fundamentally different from Western views of separatism, and this difference of perspective has resulted in the historic misunderstandings and mistrust between peoples. Mi'kmaq people are deeply and spiritually connected to this land. Generations of families have relied on the animals for food, the plants for medicine, and the water in streams for their survival. Spiritual and cultural traditions such as smudging also stem from this respect for the land. They believe a balance with the land is required for their spiritual, physical, social, and emotional well-being. Mi'kmaq people have been subject to the most brutal kind of non-physical violence by the Canadian government, and that is the attempted extinguishment of their culture. The colonial attitude towards Aboriginal people has resulted in the chronic poverty, malnutrition, disease epidemics, and high crime rates that we observe in many Mi'kmaq communities today. Justice needs to be restored to Aboriginal peoples across Canada. In addition to increasing their land base, Canadian governments and communities need to work with Aboriginal peoples on a nation-to-nation basis. This new relationship will help to develop mutual respect and enable them to identify homemade solutions through self-governance. Before full healing can begin, the truth of their situation needs to be acknowledged and taught in our schools. We are all here to stay. Like a forest with interconnected roots under the surface, every tree and plant has its place and is connected with the others around them. As Mi'kmaq elder Albert Marshall put it, no one being is greater than the next, and everyone has a responsibility for a balance of the system. Truth can be a scary thing. When you find it, you may want to pretend you never found it, or you may become so excited about finding it that you will want to share it with others. We each have our own perspectives of truth, and this is my perspective. But even with so many different pairs of eyes seeing truths from different cultures and religions, somehow I find our gazes tend to connect.
mais tu